So what have you been up to? Like, you still writing music or what's going on? I'm going to interview you.
Yeah,
That's
that's
how
good.
it's going to roll.
That's yeah. Yeah, we'll reverse the role on this, but yeah. Funny you say that. I've been actually working on these 1 minute preview tracks of like little ideas that pop in my head, and
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of cool because like I mean, musician to musician, you always get like little ideas that pop in your head, and then it's cool to kind of see them when you start recording them, and how it just goes from like mind up into going into the studio. So uh
Yep.
and it's gotten me to the point where I've been able to work on my music production and being able to record myself and learn a lot more about music production. So I've been writing. I actually wrote. I've structured out maybe two songs when the pandemic started,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still writing lyrics to them. Lyrics have always been usually pretty tough for me, but I have to kind of be in that moment to write lyrics sometimes. Unless I have like a little thing to kind of
Oh.
start off of. If I have like some kind of
Mm-hmm.
concept, I'll write it down so I don't forget the concept. But music wise, it can usually come pretty quick to me. I'm pretty creative when it comes to music. I'll just have something that pops in my head, and then I'll just go off of that, and I'll just lose track for like 3 4 hours trying to write something. But yeah, I've been really trying to uh you know going to like because I've always every day I'm changing my music influences. So it's like I've always tried to, when I bring out music, it's always like one specific genre or something. So I figured, how about making like these 1 minute, segments of like little ideas that I have sometimes, because I've already had something that's like more of like a country rock feel, and then I've just made like a
Mm-hmm.
more of like an ambient, dreamy type instrumental thing. So I'm like, it's cool to kind of just put those ideas out there, and then I can kind of just throw them out there to people every couple weeks and say, hey, this is something I'm working on. And then if I get something that gravitates more to like one thing, I can be like, okay, well, I'll probably finish that and then I'll release it later, since people already have
Nice.
somewhat of a preview to it. So it's kind of
Yep.
what I've been working with. How about you?
That's a great approach.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I started off collaborating, and the first song that I finished recording was actually a song I wrote with Matt Vantine, who you had
Nice.
on a few weeks ago.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and he's just so super talented. And
He
I,
is.
at my ripe old age, have never, hadn't started writing songs up until about 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And so it's been a little bit of a journey for me. And now I'm to the point where I'm doing them on my own. I do get input. So I use Heart Crime Studio. I don't know if you're familiar with those guys. They're in Westchester, but Tim Ferguson and Barry Maguire,
Hmm.
they'll give me input. Hey, you should change maybe this up in the bridge, or you should do this, or you should do that. But
Nice.
mine usually doesn't. Mine is usually starts out with more of a feeling or an idea.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it for me, it starts out maybe not with lyrics per se, but like what it's about
Uh-huh.
lyric wise, and then the music comes to it. So it sounds like it might be a little opposite of what you know how you do it. So you're starting with the music and then you're
Right.
struggling with the lyric. I don't struggle with lyrics at all.
Yeah.
I know what I want to say, and then I have to figure out how to, get the music fit the feel
Uh-huh.
and the vibe. It's like more of a vibe thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, unless I have like a specific thing that comes to mind, like I guess a little bit more often lately, I've been getting some lyrical ideas, and then
Hmm.
like I'll just get like a melody, and then like some type of lyric, like if I'm just like gibberish type lyrics that kind of just throw in there, and then like you'll get the beat down. I'm like, okay, this kind of can like connect this, and you start connecting puzzles pieces and stuff. So I guess I'm kind of getting more to being better with my lyrics, but it's definitely still I've always still been musician first and then a lyricist after.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Anthony, like I I don't consider myself a musician as much as I consider myself more of like just an artist
Uh huh.
because I don't have any formal musical training
Oh, I don't either.
at all.
I
Okay. So
I
like
took
we're
I took
supposed to
lessons
I
maybe for
don't
a week,
lie.
and that's about
Yeah,
the
I
extent of
don't
my
like
music.
pretend to be any type of master of anything
Hmm.
other than just creating something that wasn't there before, and
Right.
you know,
And I guess you
enjoying it
can.
honestly.
And that's the thing. Like you don't necessarily have to put a title on yourself, and because
Hmm.
like you said, you mean you're an artist. I mean, artist, musician, whatever you want to call it, singer, songwriter. Solo artist. There's a lot of different ways you can categorize people, but I feel in the same way. I mean, we all kind of have a love for music, and we love writing music and kind of putting our expressions out through something, whether it be just writing down lyrics or getting a guitar, getting piano or something. So
Hmm.
in the whatever you want to call those specific names, but we all kind of have that one common role, which is cool.
Yep. Yeah, and
And
I just love collaborating. I don't really like doing anything on my own. Like as you know, I play in a duo with
yeah,
Chris. I do play solo, but I love, like playing with people and
hmm,
collaborating with people. I don't see any competition in it in any way, shape, or
yeah.
form.
I was talking with
Like,
my last guest about that too. Like I'm at the age where I'm like I don't need to be competing with anybody anymore. I mean, if you're not gonna be on the like same edge of like being supporting others, then just I don't want to be involved with you. I mean, because it's to the point where we're all in it for the same reason. We all want to you know get to that sense of like being on stage and selling out the Madison Square Garden with 10,000
mhm,
people. We all want to eventually be there, but unfortunately, not everybody can do that. If it was that easy, everybody
yeah,
would do it. But
yeah,
we all got to support each other because we're all in it for the same thing. We all want to be out performing. We all want to be you know doing this and doing that. But then there's always when I mean I had my times when I was a kid being like hey, I want to be bigger than this local band, or I want to be competing with this person or that. Like now it's just more like, hey, I mean, we're both doing the same thing. Why don't we help each other out? And that's why I kind of started this show, to kind of just bring
mhm,
on people to not only help me out, but if somebody watches the show and maybe hears something about your story or sees you sing, that can bring you a fan, or on the same vice versa, if somebody coming from your side sees the show and sees something from me and say, hey, I never knew this kid can play, I want to go out and see him. So it's kind of like a
mhm.
crossover of certain things, and it's kind of exposure for both of us.
Yeah, I mean, you and I met at, what, an open jam that was being held in Drexel Hill, was it? Maybe
Yeah, I think it was
years ago, and we were all supported one another. And my
hmm
God, every week I'm out going to see local bands so that I can relax and be the
yeah, I
spectator. And
really miss going to shows, and that's one thing that
well,
I
I've been going to. You mentioned it, Tom and Jerry's. It's the only place that's playing bands. I go there almost every week to see a
nice,
band
nice. Yeah, and
if
the
I can. If I
right,
can.
yeah, and I figured, I mean, since the warmer weather is going to start, building up here, they'll probably start playing outside again.
Yep.
Because I knew they were doing it probably like last summer. I think there was a couple bands that were at Tom and Jerry's, and they were doing the outside, concerts, which is really cool. And hopefully that'll be
Yeah.
when a lot of the bands will start coming back, is when the late spring, early summer, when people can actually be outside and they can actually perform.
Yeah. Speaking of trios, there was a band called AM Radio. They were awesome.
Why does it
Have to
sound
check them out.
familiar? Sounds familiar.
They 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 were one of the bands that played in Tom and Jerry's, but they
Oh,
played
okay.
like just the 70s rock and just
Nice.
maybe even 60s. It was just really cool vibe.
Nice, nice, nice. Song. And one thing I wanted to start doing is I wanted to try to find a new segment. So I again going with my Patreons. I asked them last week. I had a couple ideas on what a new segment I can do, and they kind of liked all the segments I picked. So I figured to make a spin wheel, and that whatever the wheel ticks on will be the topic of the night. So kind of give you a little bit of
Oh.
introduction, and I'll probably give this as an introduction to them as well. So this is the wheel, and I won't spin it now. I have to kind of open up something, and I got to remember to open it up tomorrow night. But it'll spin. So we have three different topics: a top five, where it'll just be a random for that night, like a top five favorite bands you like, or a top five places you wish you have seen, like something generic like that. This or that is basically I'll give maybe 5 to 10 scenarios of like uh, this thing or that thing, and then you pick which one you prefer better. So, as an example, like pasta or pizza, then you just say which one you
Mm.
like. Summer or winter, then you would pick what. So it's kind
Mhm.
of this is kind of towards the guest, and we can both kind of go off it as well. Like I'll have you answer, and then I'll kind of give mine as well, and then it also brings the chat into it too, that they can also kind of be involved with it too. So
Will we see the chat of the people watching, or you'll see it
yeah,
on Facebook?
yes, you should be able to. I don't have it live to anything right now, so usually when comments do come in, there should be something either. You're going through your desktop, I assume, right?
Yeah, this is my laptop here, and I have my phone here. Like I
Okay.
could
There should be maybe an icon, maybe like a comment icon on there somewhere on the top area that usually the comments will come and scroll off. Unless it just automatically, when a comment comes, you'll be able to see it. But I have it defaulted
Hmm,
where uh,
okay.
you'll be able to see the show, and you should be able to see the comments that roll by.
Drag on. Don't tell me how to walk. Don't tell me what to say. Words are falling out for my empty space. Why can't I be just me? Enjoy a life that's free. Don't tell me how to be. Don't tell me who to love.
I
So
think
I
it's
could
I,
turn it on, or
I think it sounds good with the reverb. It kind of
all
gives
right,
a
I'll
little bit
turn it
more.
off when I'm talking now.
Yeah, yeah. Talk. No, you
Yeah,
can turn it off when you're talking, but I think it kind of
yeah,
gives it adds a little bit more space.
yeah, it does.
So
Because this is very dry. This is very
yeah.
dry. Like,
So
yeah.
especially when you're playing,
Um,
it adds a little bit more of an element to it. So it's good. Yeah.
was that mix better after I had turned this down
Yeah, I liked it. It
with
wasn't
the?
the guitar wasn't as like wobbly. It didn't have too much of a wobbly
Yeah,
feel, and I think you're gonna have that no matter what. But it
yeah.
wasn't as prominent. So
Okay.
yeah, it was good.
Cool. I'm really excited. This is gonna be fun, Anthony.
Yeah, I'm
You
excited.
know
It's
what? The next time I go to Tom and Jerry's, I'm gonna have to tell you to come join the gang because
yeah,
live
I'll
music
definitely
is like the
yeah, I'll
joy,
definitely
like one of the few joys that there is right now in this few moments that you can enjoy it.
yeah, yeah. 'Cause